Hey guys, Earl Flormata here again with Project 365, and we have hit the double-digit days. It's day 10, and I was gonna actually, I had this whole elaborate plan drawn out to show a bunch of business models and structures and stuff behind it, but obviously we need a foundation before we can get to that kind of stuff. So before I kind of break out the business models and the strengths and weaknesses of each different type, I was going to talk about the foundations of why am I going for this whole business stuff in the first place. So really neat quote. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. So, I mean, if you've noticed, I don't know if you've caught on. I mean, small minds discuss people, all the kind of the chit chat, the gossip, and whatnot. Nobody cares. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to make any difference, right? So, average minds discuss events. A lot of people read the newspaper. I've stopped reading the newspaper as I've started making these videos. And the funny thing is, I've actually been learning more, just finding stuff on the internet, stuff I actually want to read, stuff I want to learn, and hear about, and kind of not it's not putting up blinders to block out the bad news. It's more of if you expose yourself to more of the stuff that you want to become, it's easier to get there, as opposed to being sidetracked and sidelined. So maybe there's that, and then great minds discuss ideas. That is a good thing, obviously, since I'm sharing all these ideas with you guys, but it also doesn't get you anywhere if that's all you do: discuss ideas, and don't do anything. So obviously, I'm still working in the background, working on some projects and whatnot. The only thing is, obviously, I can't show them. In the internet marketing realm, you'll notice that a lot of people don't reveal what their niche market is, because once that happens, there's a whole bunch of people flood the market, and you end up with a whole lot of competition for that same market piece. So I mean, yeah, I did buy some articles for internet marketing. Yeah, I did create some stuff, but until the launch date, I don't want anyone else to know about it, because people can compete and kind of flood that same niche, and I won't be by myself without first to market anymore. So, anywho, that's a neat quote I thought there we could start off with. Now, a couple years ago, I was running presentations and doing lots of public speaking, and I was talking about this thing called the $1 million blueprint, because people wanted to earn $1 million. So that was kind of the goal, and I was showing people how to get there. Um, there are three main ways to earn $1 million within a certain a good simple small time frame, right? So we were talking about putting this together within 2 years, and earning that $1 million passively. And the only ways to do this in your sleep are three different methods. So there's business. The, all types of businesses can do this. It's just the structure of the business, which we'll discuss later. Real estate, because obviously the real estate pays you rent, and that thing happens like over time, and it increases your wealth, and you've got these great pieces of real estate that are paying you money every month. And then transactions. So I'll break this down later on. I'm actually going to be writing a book for this whole $1 million blueprint, $1 million plan. But we're going to be talking a lot about business, because that's a lot of the stuff I'm doing today. So business is what we're going to be talking about. Now, breaking down this $1 million blueprint, how can other people kind of participate in the game and play the same stuff? I have to break it down further and talk about the $1 million plan. Now, the $1 million plan, again, this will be in the book, comes in three phases, and I've done it completely backwards. Most proper, financial planners, structurists, and I let you guys know I don't have any licenses or any of that kind of stuff in financials, but the guys who I work with do, and they showed me that I've done it completely backwards. Um, Most people start off with protection with insurance and estate planning and all that sort of thing. I left it till the end, because if you think about the human psyche, it wants instantaneous gratification. It wants stuff now. It wants stuff yesterday. We don't want to wait. We don't want to plant the seeds and watch it grow, and hopefully that it grows into this really big thing that we can eat later. So we want instantaneous gratification, and for that to happen, and for that to build a habit, and for that to kind of propagate through your system and make it keep moving, I designed the $1 million plan backwards. So I can't remember what the quote was or where I got it from, but if you notice everyone going the same direction, you can actually find out and carve out a niche going the exact opposite direction. So what I did was I flipped over the typical financial stuff backwards. I'm going from a backwards perspective, because it gives you instantaneous gratification in phase one here. If we talk about For example, reducing the amount of tax you pay. If people, I mean, obviously to get into real estate business and transactional deals, you need some sort of capital. And without the capital available, I mean, most people are working 9 to 5. They live, hand to mouth pretty much, and you eat every paycheck you got. If you can find the money to participate in these other options, then obviously then you can start doing them. But without that money, ain't nothing gonna happen. So first step is reduce the amount of tax you pay, and that's easier than most people think. I'll be launching a project around that as well, but there's a ton of different ways to save money on tax. Some of them work better than others. Some of them, the CRA will or IRS will bother you till your days ends. So some ways are worth it, some ways are not worth it, depending on how you want to play the game. Increasing cash flow, and the whole purpose of making tax go away and increasing cash flow is so you can play the game on the left hand side. If you can buy businesses, make businesses run, make them run better. Purchase real estate so you get paid rent on a regular basis. Play in transactions where you make a spread. That's great, but obviously if you don't do the first step, you're never going to get there, or it's going to take you a little bit longer to get there. So that's why I teach these two things first. Now, LTAA stands for long-term asset accumulation. This is it's a fancy word to say buy real estate, right? I mean, long-term asset accumulation. If I kept on buying buildings and they pay themselves off, by the time it's retirement time, I've got money coming out of my ears. That's kind of the structure there. And then businesses, setting up your own business, working from a business structure. There's purposes and reasons behind using that. Obviously, tax advantage stuff, as well as just what businesses are allowed to do as opposed to a person. Now, the last piece here we've talked about for this $1 million plan is estate planning, structuring your will and whatnot, and then insurance and coverage and making sure everything else is protected. Now, again, like typical financial planners, they'll go through this the opposite direction, because you've got to protect what you've got first, and then protect everything you've been building. Obviously, that's important, but I mean, most financial planners, as far as marketing is concerned, people don't want, they're afraid to take that first step because it costs them money. It costs them time, it costs them effort, and it's kind of stressful. You're walking in, and the first thing you say is you're gonna die, and it's kind of a crappy presentation when when you're talking about finances, right? So the fact is that's the case. So if we could flip it around and just show people, hey guys, let's do a couple small steps first, see some instantaneous gratification. They'll see the money right away, and they're willing to take that next step because they did what you said and they got some money back, and now they're happy and they want to take the next step. This is all kind of in there for building up these businesses that we talk about. So yeah, there we have it. This is day 10, just kind of laying the foundations of how we can get into business if we didn't have the money to do so. There'll be a book coming out on this eventually, but yeah, this is where it stands. We're going to be talking about business structures and whatnot coming up, and I wanted to lay the foundations of why business, why are we going this direction. Business real estate transactions, that's the goal, and I'm going to walk you through how to get to those pieces as we move along. This is Project 365. Earl Flormata signing out. Thanks for watching.